Look at this beautiful bread maker. I'm at Vinny's, and okay, so it's $24.99, but I think it's really a bargain. I really don't like the pan that's tall, because it rips apart the bottom of the bread. Like this one, that's only $3.69 for this guy. This is what mine is like, and I just don't like it. It puts too big of a hole into the bread, which makes it slice up pretty crappy. So I think I'm going to bite the bullet and take this money, this $25 out of my budget, and get a new bread machine, and then I will just put mine up on Marketplace. It's a West Bend, so I mean it's decent. If I have to hang on to it too long, though, I might just donate it back to Vinny's. There she is. I got this bad boy home. There are a couple little dings you can see on this, but look, here are the 17 settings. Soft bread, sweet bread, natural sourdough, French whole wheat, quick, sugar-free, multigrain, milky loaf, cake, raw dough, leavened dough, jam, bake, yogurt, gluten-free, and ferment. It's pretty darn pretty. Here we are, my peeps, with my new beautiful bread machine. Now, I did some research on it on Amazon. It can go from $125 to $180 depending on the seller. I don't think it's really Amazon selling it. It's called the KBS model MBF-010 bread maker. And I probably wouldn't have bought it if it didn't come with this manual. But so there is one model newer than this. So I will say this is pretty darn new machine. My West Bend, and I am going to donate it back. It's already in the car. That was from the 90s. So, but this has so many features, which is why I decided to make bacon and cheese bread. The reason why I decided on that is because of this fabulous feature. Let me take it out. So this little box, let's see how you open it. All right, I don't see how I'm going to get a cup in there. We'll see how much this measures out to be. But this is like for berries, nuts, or whatever you want to drop into your bread at the appropriate time. So this is better than, you know, just mixing it all in and then throwing it all together. So I really do like this because it won't go in until, I don't know, whenever the appropriate time, as the manual says, is for the drop. So that happens automatically. So I thought I'm going to put bacon bits in here, which I'm frying up right over here. You could use, you know, like real bacon bits and, you know, not have to go through this. But I did have a pound of bacon that I took out a few days ago from the freezer and put it in the fridge. So I thought, all right, well, I'm going to use it in this bread. And so let's see how this goes. I'll show you where I'm at with the bacon. Okay, let's take a look. I do love this Pampered Chef screen. I mean, it's the best screen I've ever had. I like that it's like, you know, halvesies to open it up with. But yeah, okay, the bacon is getting there. I'm going to render this down, get it drained, let it cool off a bit, and then we will get started. I have my flours measured out here, but we're going to have to make sure they're the right grams. We're going to find out. Because I really want to follow the machine's recommendations along with my recipe. So it's going to be a combination of both to ensure that this turns out. I have over here 1/2 cup of the oat fiber, the Anthony's right here, 1/2 cup. Here I have a 1/3 cup of lupin flour. This is the miracle flour. I also have a 1/3 cup, and they say to use their measuring cups here for the flours because, and these have milliliters, they have ounces, so you could use the liquid, and then they have the cups too. This is carbulose flour, which I just have here in my canister. So far I have a 1/2 cup of the oat fiber, a 1/3 cup of the lupin flour, and a 1/3 cup of the carbulose. Then I have carefully and exactly measured 1 1/4 cups of the Bob's Red Mill Vital Wheat Gluten. Next, I bought the Fleischmann's bread machine, instant yeast. So it says, which I was surprised about, to add this yeast in with the flour. So I need 1 tablespoon. Grab that. Now the manual says that in the summer to use a little less yeast. So I'm going to heed that warning and go a little less. The other thing about this manual, this machine, every single recipe calls for whole milk powder or milk powder. So I looked on Amazon and the carb count was like all over the board. This was the lowest carb milk powder that was available, that they have. It's 3 carbs for a tablespoon. So I'm going to put a tablespoon of this in. Over the whole loaf, that won't be bad. But they seem to require this milk powder. 1 tablespoon. You could also make milk with this. They have the directions on there, but then the carb count really goes up. So I will only be using it in this lovely bread machine. So I'm going to stir up these flours, just mix them up a little bit. And then I'm going to measure the flours in grams as per the manual. That's going to determine which size loaf of bread I'm going to make. Okay, I'm going to go with my gut on this. I have 322 grams. Well, none of that is on the list or in between, but I'm just going to trust my gut here. I think I'm going to go with the 2-pound loaf. Okay, let's see what happens. I need a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I got that salt, 84 pink salt from the dollar store, and a 1/2 teaspoon of xanthan gum. Nothing is exact when you're cooking keto. It's just different. But I think I'm good with my prorations. That's it for the dry ingredients. Here I have 1 cup of warm water. I microwaved it for about, well, it was a minute. And let's see what the temperature is. The temperature is currently at 122. So I want it between 105 and 115 degrees. So I'm gonna let this cool down a little bit, but it's okay. I'm only going to add the teaspoon of honey to this. Okay, just 1 teaspoon for the yeast. 1 teaspoon of honey, mix it up. That'll cool it down. Let's see where we're at. It's at 130. Okay. We'll give it a minute. But I have all the flours in the pan. It looks like this is definitely the large loaf because, yeah, it's not quite half. All right, while that's cooling down, I'm gonna go ahead and get, well, let me show you. I have this one egg. I'm going to put it into their cup per the manual, and we'll see what it measures out at. Okay, it's easier for me to measure the egg by the cup. It's a 1/4 cup is what this one egg weighs. So it says in the manual to only use one egg. I mean, I would be tempted to, well, I would have used 2 eggs in this recipe. And then it says to use the remaining liquid in water. So I'm just going to add some purified water on tap here to 1/2 cup instead of using 2 eggs. The temperature is 122 right now, so I think this will cool it down. I'm just gonna put this egg mixture into here and mix this up. And I want that temperature right because I already have the yeast in the bowl. So let's see what we're at. That cooled it down a lot. All right, we're at 108. We're gonna put it in. Also funny about this manual, well, you know, it looks like it was intended for a slew of different flours and a slew of different diets. So, because when they say flour, what they call it is, they call it strong flour, and they give you the measurements. So they're not telling you what kind, that's just the term that they use for whatever kind of flour you're putting in. And then it does say, depending on your flour and, you know, how much moisture is needed, to adjust accordingly. So that's what I'm trying to do. You don't really have to mix this. You could just get the machine going, but I'm just trying to judge my liquid amounts here. I think I'm pretty good. So this little basket, it holds 1/2 cup. So I got 1/2 cup of bacon in there, and I have 1/2 cup of the remainder bacon bits. These bacon bits are wonderful. But incidentally, that whole pound of bacon was 1 cup when it's all said and done. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the machine. But I think I will go ahead and add this other 1/2 cup into the batter because I do want 1 cup of bacon into the bread. I have the basket of bacon in the machine. It's so easy, I love it. Now, last 2 ingredients. So I have that other 1/2 cup of the bacon, and I have 1 cup of cheese. I would prefer it if I had all cheddar, but I don't. So I used what I had. Here's what I had. That's all I had left. So I had a little bit left of the cheddar and Swiss. This I usually use on my eggs. And then I had the 4 cheese Mexican from Sargento and managed to come up with a cup. So I'm just going to pour the cheese and the bacon in here. I'm hoping this is fabulous. There's the box. I really love that feature. Here is my bread. I will babysit it a bit. I mean, it's going to take like 3 hours, and you know, I'll be off to bed before that. But I'll see about if it needs any additional liquid. I really don't think so. I think this is looking pretty darn good. Into the machine it goes. The bread is in the oven. It's pretty quiet. I think it's a lot quieter than my West Bend bread maker from the 90s. So I will watch it and see what's going on in there. But I think I got the consistency right. It was spinning around and mixing, and I took a peek and looks good. So we will see you tomorrow. Well, for you that'll be you know, right around the bend. Look how great that looks. Oh, it's doing really good. I just need to get that off. Wow, this thing is great. Look, the bacon is dropping. The bacon is still dropping, and it's resting right now, but look how big that loaf is getting. Okay, we're at 2 hours and 34 minutes. But I must say that this peekaboo window is pretty useless because you can't see it with condensation. Oh, it's still dropping bacon. It's looking like dough. Yeah, but that window, yeah, it doesn't even need to be there. Here it is. Get a look at this. Now, you can see I have the bacon here. So that extra half a cup of bacon, it didn't go into the bread. I would say that bacon does not work for dropping it in. Either that or it's just too much, but it looks beautiful. All right, I'm gonna get my cutting guide and cut it up. Okay, here we go. I got her in there, and I'm just gonna cut off the heel. Oh, it smells really good. It looks really good. Okay, that's a little too thick. Well, the more I practice with this cutting guide, the better I'm gonna get, but I've just learned how to make it work. Oh my gosh. Looks really good. Yeah, the thing with the bacon, I'm thinking that it couldn't take, the loaf itself, the recipe couldn't take a full cup of the bacon. So, and it looks like this is what was on the inside. That is enough bacon in there just to have the half a cup. So, let's just slice a couple more. Well, one more. Someday I'll get good at doing this freehand. I mean, I have the right knife. really lovely. This is, I will still eat that bacon. Alright, I'm going to grab the butter. Let's butter it up. Okay. Alright. This bread, I think that it's going to come out to being about 5 carbs a slice. So I would still go easy on it. This bread is really good. It almost has like a sourdough taste to it. I'm not sure where that's coming from, but I do like it. It's quite different than the Deidre bread, although the texture is very similar. So overall, the recipe I threw together was a success. For Christmas last year, I got this big old bag of bread bags and ties from my sister. They look like this. They're actually quite large for the kind of bread that we're doing, so I will trim down the bag. So there it is, in its bread bag and everything. And now I'll put in my little bread box. Yeah, so I will be enjoying this this week. I have some wonderful no nitrate turkey, and so what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my cranberry chutney that I made in the last video, and put a little of that on top of the turkey, because it tastes just like Thanksgiving. Alright, I've decided I really love this bread machine so much that I am going to go donate my West Bend from the 90s over there at Vinny's. Thanks for coming by for another video, and we will see you soon, probably in a few days. There it is. Comes with the manual. Not many do, so it's really nice that that I had the manual. Off to Vinny's it goes. And seriously, if you don't have a bread machine, just hightail it over to the thrift store. There's tons of them over there.